Today, I have something a little different, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. There's certain types of comic books that I buy. Now, I've been trying to broaden that just slightly, not getting off too far because there's certain things I like and there's certain things I don't like. And I'm not saying that that won't change with time. Obviously, as we get older, things change, our likes and dislikes change, taste buds change. I eat things now that I would have never eaten when I was younger. So, what I want to do today is I want to get into, of all things, a DuckTales book. Now, this is issue number 4. It's put out by Dynamite Comics, and I don't know if issue 1 through 3 really matter to this story. I cannot tell you. And I did not know that there was a reboot of DuckTales. Now, I loved DuckTales growing up. When I was a kid, the DuckTales cartoon was everything. I mean, that cartoon was it was just about life. I mean, if you know anything about the 80s and 90s, if you were a kid at that time, you definitely watched DuckTales. I think this book was actually enjoyable. You know what it made me feel like? I feel like I got that old feeling of adventure when I watched the DuckTales cartoon. And I honestly didn't think it was possible to get that from a book. But man, lo and behold, it is. I might have to go back and collect some of those old Carl Barks DuckTales comic book. Okay, where do we go next? So they're in the Duckburg Public Library. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Now, we must learn some patience, Huey, like a wild goose chase. Now, what did I just say, Dewey? Like finding a goose in a needle stack or in a stack of needles. Louie, now, that doesn't make any sense. Now, does it? Exactly. They're always on some kind of wild adventure. And that's what I like about this book. The art reminds me, and I mean, I guess when it comes to DuckTales, it's in a lot of ways, it's kind of hard to mess up the art. I mean, I think even a novice artist could probably, for the most part, get this right. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there is some DuckTales artist that messed it up. But for me, this looks really good. This is a waste of time. Time is money. I do not waste either or both. And when it comes to making money, there's a lot to learn. Here is where we find the greatest treasure in Duckburg. Here? You mean a hidden secret vault? Or there's a hollowed out book filled with diamonds? Or is it one of those books on the bookshelf where you pull the book and it opens to a secret door? Let me explain. They're all excited about finding a hidden treasure. And that's, if you were a fan of the cartoon, you know that's what it was always about. That adventure that they'd go on to find some hidden treasure, something that they didn't know existed or that they just found about. And of course, Uncle Scrooge, you know what he wants. He's a man with money, and all he wants is more money. Hilarious. I love Uncle Scrooge, though. Okay, I'm getting too old for this. Shh. Quiet, please. Thank you, Miss Bookbeak. I tell these boys all the time they need to shh. She puts her hand over his mouth like, no, you be quiet. All I see, Mr. McDuck, are 4 little boys. Oh, you know he's got to be. He can't be none too happy about that. A little while later, you see them all sitting there, quiet as can be, while Miss Bookbeak is doing her thing. What are we going to do now? Yeah, now we're stuck. Yeah, Stucker than a goose in a stack of needles. Huey, Dewey, Louie, listen up. What we need to do now, shh. What we need to do now is head deep into the stacks quietly to avoid the prying ears, ahem, the prying ears of Miss Bookbeak. Vamoose! Miss Bookbeak is very good at her job, but we've got no time to waste because time is money. And if you know anything about Uncle Scrooge, you know Uncle Scrooge is about his money. Nobody is going to waste his time or his money. He is not playing around with that. Okay, that's right. Uh, what were you saying before about the biggest treasure in the world being hidden here in the Duckburg Public Library? And if I'm not mistaken, Carl Barks, who originally drew DuckTales, I believe he created Duckburg and the majority of these characters. Of course, Donald Duck being the character that was created before him, but I believe he created Huey, Dewey, Louie, Duckburg, Scrooge McDuck, and all the other characters. I have to look into that to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Not exactly. And you boys should know better. What is here is the key that will lead to that treasure. A cool looking big gold key hidden somewhere in the library. So, they're inquisitive. Like, and that's the thing. There was a time, and you don't really see much of it nowadays, but there was a time where that curiosity, that adventure of young men was fostered. And I think to some degree in comic books, it was fostered a lot. And I'm not going to say you don't see that at all, but I think books like this and cartoons like this really drove that. That's not it. Try to keep up, lads. We don't want Miss Bookbeak seeing us. So keep your eyes peeled. And then he runs right into who else but Launchpad. Launchpad was one of my favorite DuckTales characters. He was so goofy, but he could fly, and I was like fascinated by flight. Fancy running into you here at the library. That's okay, Mr. McD. I'm used to high speed collisions. Can get my words out. And look, you always said what I didn't know about flying could fill a book. You were right. Piloting. Piloting for quacks. That is hilarious. I thought I told you boys to. Shh. Miss Bookbeak coming in telling them to be quiet. That lady gives me the heebie-jeebies. She's only doing her job. But we have a job to do. Well, we have a job to do too. We do? We do. You need to buy us some time. Launchpad, do you trust me? No, not really. Fair point. It's hilarious. But this job is easy. No studying, no researching required. Is the job your best? It's a job you're best at, Launchpad. It is? It is. So he thrust him out. Oopsie daisy. So he goes crashing, gets the attention of Miss Bookbeak. And, this book is just fun. I like books like this. I think sometimes it's good to change up the reading habits, so to speak. And I do that even when reading books. Sometimes I'll just switch up and read a different kind of book that I'm not used to. And it actually does me some good. Sorry, Miss BB. Now's our time to make a break for it, lads. Boy, oh boy, boys. Was that ever some fun? And it was always good, if you watched the cartoon, to see Scrooge McDuck have fun with his nephews, even though at times they got on his nerves. But when it all came down to it, they always had fun. Aha, this reminds me of a story, but we don't have time for that. It was another of Launchpad's mix ups that put us in a real fix. Here we go again. And so he goes into the story. Uncle Scrooge, Mayday, Mayday, part one of a 2-part spine tingling adventure, The Past. But luckily, I knew what I was doing. What would we do without me, Launchpad? Scrooge McDuck, always the humble one. Be at home, safe and sound? Precisely. You can thank me. I've spent weeks researching this treasure. The Duckburg Public Library's private collection, Drake College Architecture Department archives, the Migalore Biblioteca Nacional. And for your part, you crash land us miles away. Thanks, Mr. McD. He doesn't even realize he's taking a dig, and that's why I always love Launchpad's character. He's just so goofy. What's that sign say? I spent months decoding the ancient symbols. Do not enter. Maybe we should follow the signs, boss. How right you are. Do you have any clue how long I've studied these ruins? Weeks? Months? A really long time? A very long time. Now follow my steps exactly, and exactly what I say. Whatever you say, Mr. McD. Launchpad, what are you doing? Ow! So they both go crashing down. Slam! Launchpad, don't move a muscle. Huh? Maybe it's an old booby trap that's a dud. You think? Boing, and they go flying into the air. You know what, Mr. McD? I think it's all your fault. That is hilarious. And then it says, to be continued. I like this book. I think, honestly, I think if you have a son, a daughter, and you want them to get into comic books and you want something light, but you want to kind of fuel that excitement, that adventure, man, books like this. And this is, I believe this was recently done because I just bought this. I'm pretty sure this is 2025. It was on the new shelf, so I'm pretty sure it's new. Like I said, I haven't kept up with, 2025. I haven't kept up with DuckTales, Disney comic books. I didn't even know that these things were going again, but this is kind of exciting. They also had one book in there that I might buy. I might try to find a back issues. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Naruto. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Interesting books, but I might pick it up. The Present. And then what happened? Well, I'm here. So of course, Launchpad and I got ourselves out. But how? Yeah. Tell us how. Tell us the whole story. So first they didn't want to know. They thought, here we go again with the story. Now that he gets into the story, now they want to know the whole thing. Ah, yes. Even when you already know the end, you still want the whole story. But we have our own story right now. The one where Miss Bookbeak wants to get us. This close? Closer. You should be following closer. Well, that's why we're following you, Uncle Scrooge. It's easy to get lost in a place like this. Easily lost. You three are more like Launchpad than you are like your old Uncle Scrooge, huh? I don't know if I want to know. We don't know how that one ends yet. I should have said, listen closer. Now, which one of you can tell me why I brought you here to the Duckburg Public Secret treasure, hidden treasure. The biggest secret is hidden treasure. They're all excited. This place is huge. They must have a book on everything. There are more books in here than there are pages in a book. Stop. Uncle Scrooge is like, hold up, you're not listening. Now will you let me finish? Gee whiz, Uncle Scrooge. We're listening. We've been listening this whole time. Shh. Shh. They hear Miss Bookbeak. She's telling him she's looking for him. Oh, shoot. You're in here somewhere. I can hear you, Miss Bookbeak trying to shut them all the way down. I will say this. Miss Bookbeak sure is dedicated to her work. Looks like we have some time to kill. Unless we want to be killed. What was it you were trying to say, Uncle Scrooge? He was going to finish the story about him and Launchpad, I think. Now that's what I want to hear. Nay, nay. I was trying to make a larger point. The map of Duckburg. Hey. And followed it. And we followed it. We followed it to here. And you said the greatest treasure in Duckburg was here. Nay, nay, nay. When I said you'd find it here, I meant there's another map that'll lead you to it. Here in the library. Where? Oh, you know, in the next room. Over with Miss You Know Who. Come on. Now follow me and do exactly as I say. Not like Launchpad didn't do in the old story. Uncle Scrooge. Yes, Louis. How did you escape with Launchpad? It's a long story, Dewey. We got some time, don't we? Well, you see, Huey. And then it goes back to the story. And this is just like the cartoon when it went back and forth between stories. And it's actually super exciting. I like it. I didn't know how much I would like this. I actually also bought a Darkwing Duck comic book. I don't know about you, but Darkwing Duck was my cartoon. Oh my goodness, I love that cartoon. Uncle Scrooge Mayday Mayday Part 2, concluding our pulse-pounding two-parter. I came prepared. The past. And you see them, falling back down. That wasn't so bad. Hey, why did you do that? You can hurt a guy that way. You were supposed to do exactly what I did. Yeesh. You only have to tell me once. I did tell you. Okay, so maybe twice. Watch and learn. Hey, I'm good at this. So now he's hitting these little bongos over here. Bong, bong, bong. I see. There's a rhythm to it. What's wrong? I don't know what these say. I haven't learned these Let me have a try. He didn't even let him finish. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Launchpad, you fool, don't. Hey, no pushing. I never pushed you. I told you I'm the one in charge. Scoop. And this, like a guillotine went right past their heads. And he gulps. Good thing you brought an expert at crashing. That's hilarious. The end. The present. Surfs down. Upsy downsy. Oof. They all fall. All these books come crashing. And this is the kind of thing, like, especially if you're a kid. If you're a kid, you dream of situations like this, like being in a library, all these books crashing, coming down, having an adventure, crazy stuff. Oh, Wipeout. I told you to shh. Shh yourself. What's this? Our treasure map. I think, yes, I think I know what's going on here. So she's looking. Miss Bookbeak, I demand you return here. And if you simply told me what you were looking for, I would have gotten it for you without so much fuss. After all, I'm here to help. Ah, this is it, boys. What I've been trying to tell you all day. But I guess you'll just have to see for yourself. To be concluded. I like this. I like this. I think this was a very fun story. Like I said, if I had children and I was a comic book collector, of course, I stopped collecting for many years after I had kids, and I kind of wish I would have kept collecting because books like this are actually kind of exciting. And I would imagine, especially when my kids were young, this would have been extremely exciting. I think this is a good book worth reading. And I might actually go back and find the back issues because I'm sure they're all connected.